ज्यादा खुशी का माहौल नहीं है, एटमॉस्फेयर में थोड़ी सी नेगेटिविटी है. India is not staring at the second big, India is in the second big wave of COVID-19. More than 3 lakh active cases at present. The entire country is witnessing news of oxygen shortage, bed shortage, people dying, and whatnot. We at Business World do not want to add on to the pessimism, but we would definitely like to get to the bottom of the problem, the root of the problem. And to get to the bottom of any problem, you need aware people. And that's why I have my colleagues Ashish Sinha and Jyotsna Sharma with me. Jyotsna is the senior editor at Business World, and Ashish is senior associate editor at DW Business World. Jyotsna, I'll start with you. What is the sense you're getting from the ground, the number of people you have spoken to? You have been at the core of this sector for the past few months. What are the inputs you are getting from the ground? Kis tarah ke inputs aa rahe hain?
Like you just said, things are quite grim at the moment. And just before we started this call, actually, I got 2 phone calls from people I know, where young people, a 28-year-old and a 35-year-old person, just passed away. What is happening is, in the last week, there have been, there's been news of younger people passing away. But what is alarming is the number of cases that we're suddenly seeing compared to where we were last year. And forget last year. Even if you look at March, for instance, like in March, we had 5,000 deaths. In April, suddenly now, April's not even over. And we're at 34,000. That's like a 6-time increase?
7 times almost, yeah.
7 times almost, yeah. So look at the increase. And then if you look at it worldwide, what you find is that we're number 2. Of course, Brazil is ahead of us. But, it's because of our callous attitude. It is because all of us have to take responsibility. We have not done so. There have been weddings, parties, there have been gatherings, of course, for religious purposes, or rallies, political rallies, all of that contributes to it, but all of us as well.
Can't get worse than that. Ashish, what Jyotsna is saying, we are second only to Brazil. मुझे ऐसा लगता है हम पीछे इसलिए क्योंकि सही आंकड़े सामने नहीं आए. अगर सही आंकड़े शायद रखे जाएं तो हम ब्राजील को भी पीछे छोड़ देंगे. क्यों ऐसी कौन सी स्थिति हुई? क्या सिर्फ सरकार ने बड़ी चालाकी से मद्रास हाईकोर्ट के द्वारा चुनाव आयोग पे पूरा ब्लेम डलवा दिया? बट इस वक्त जो अभी हालात हैं, इसके लिए कौन जिम्मेदार है आपके हिसाब से?
जी अभिनव, जैसा आपने शुरू किया था, ये बहुत ही मुश्किल वक्त है. आवर हार्ट एंड प्रेयर्स go out to people who are facing this. Almost every family we know either individually or through common friends. I have lost some colleagues, working journalists, young people. There can be a number of ways to look at the situation, but let us try in business world not to put blame etc. Though it is very clear, बहुत बातें हो चुकी हैं कि कौन जिम्मेदार था, क्या हमारी प्लानिंग में कमी थी. कुछ तो कमी थी ना. The facts of today are evidence enough in front of us कि कुछ तो हमने गलत किया, कहीं हमसे चूक हो गई. हम कौन है यहाँ? सिस्टम है. सिस्टम इसको कंट्रोल कर रहा था. पिछले साल से व्यवस्था बनी थी. There was a system put in place at the central level, at the highest level, which was daily, whose mandate was to not only keep track of what's happening, but also to find solutions, plug the gaps wherever it's required. And somewhere, I think it's very apparent that that system either became lax or we did not anticipate the huge surge which was about to come. So I think after the vaccination drive, incidentally, आपकी जानकारी के लिए आज शायद हमारे 100 दिन या 101 दिन हुए हैं वैक्सीनेशन ड्राइव के. 16 जनवरी से ये शुरू हुआ था. 100 दिन में हमने सिर्फ 14.5 करोड़ लोगों को डाला है. ये भी फर्स्ट जैब है टोटलिटी में. एक दिन में इसकी फिगर बहुत कम है. तो बहुत सारे लेवल पे शायद एंटिसिपेशन में प्रॉब्लम थी, अब यही कहना सही होगा. लेकिन कुछ अच्छी जानकारियां भी आ रही हैं बिफोर वी गेट इनटू द एनालिसिस ऑफ who to blame और what went wrong. जैसे कि आज ही यूएस गवर्नमेंट हैज प्रॉमिस, उनके पास करीब 6 करोड़ मॉडर्ना और दूसरे वैक्सीनेशन पड़े हुए हैं. करीब 3 से 4 करोड़ उनके पास एस्ट्राजेनेका के वैक्सीन हैं, जो उन्होंने कहा है कि एक लार्ज पोर्शन विल बी शिफ्ट आउट टू इंडिया. दैट्स वन पीस ऑफ गुड न्यूज. Delhi government is setting up 44 oxygen producing plants now. 21 are being imported right now as we speak. They are being airlifted from France. 15 दिल्ली सरकार खुद लगा रही है, 8 केंद्रीय सरकार के हैं. तो अगले एक महीने में एटलीस्ट दिल्ली के हॉस्पिटल्स में जो हमने देखा है वो सिचुएशन काफी चेंज हो जाएगी. Delhi Chief Minister has just briefed everybody through his video bulletins. तो चूक हुई है, जी हाँ. प्रॉब्लम्स में हमने नई टाइम पे उसको एनालाइज किया, उसका रिजल्ट आज है. बट लर्निंग्स हमको देखनी चाहिए कि ये अभी रुका नहीं है. वी आर राइट इन द मिडल ऑफ इट. छोटे मोटे आंकड़े कहीं कम हो रहे होंगे, बट दिस इज अ वेकअप कॉल. वी शुड प्रिपेयर फॉर अनदर वेव, मे बी टुवर्ड्स द नेक्स्ट ईयर. लास्ट ईयर सितंबर में ये पीक कर रहा था. कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है कि आने वाले दिनों में ये आंकड़ा मई जून तक जाके कम हो, लेकिन फिर से ये राइज अप करे. सो दिस इज नाउ अ फाइनल वेकअप कॉल. इसके बाद कोई एक्सक्यूज नहीं किसी को दे सकता है आदमी कि अगर अब हम नहीं जागे तो आगे मुश्किल हो जाएगी.
Well, Ashish, like I personally believe that we are beyond the wake-up call. But Jyotsna, coming back to you, uh, as far as infrastructure of health in this country is concerned, I mean, you have been speaking to a lot of doctors over the past few months. What is the sense you're getting now? Like Ashish mentioned, that there are reforms which are taking place on the ground. International countries are coming out for help. Oxygen cylinders and plants are being reinstated. More beds are being installed. Along with that, can you give us a little more specific information on how this infrastructure war is being undertaken on the ground?
What we need, and in fact, I am going to quote a little bit from Dr. Devi Shetty's, he's written an article, in fact, today, very on point, in the sense that he talks about how from oxygen shortage, now we are going to face manpower shortage. Because what is going to happen is that we're going to run out of skilled doctors and nurses to tackle this, basically. The way the infection is going, basically, it seems like there are about 15 lakh people getting infected daily. So for every one person who we know is testing positive and is being recorded as a case, there are about 5 others who are not, we don't know about, who are not getting tested or any such. The other thing is that we have currently only 75,000 to 95,000 ICU beds. We need to increase that up to 5 lakh new ICU beds. That is the requirement. Yes.
That's almost 6 times, huh?
Yes, that's what we require. What we're going to have is a shortage of medical specialists. Even before the pandemic hit, as per reports, we were at about somewhere around 70% was the shortage. So now can you imagine what it's going to be like and what we're going to be faced with? Of course, we've been all watching the news, speaking to experts, speaking to doctors, and we've seen their impassioned pleas, because when they talk about it, they say that we're overworked and, the system is about to collapse. So he has, in fact, given, by he, I mean, Dr. Shetty, in his article, has given a solution, actually, to this, where he says that, there are people who are training to be doctors, and when they're just at the last stage of clearing that, why not get them to be working in the ICU, in the COVID ICUs, and help at the moment. Actually, like currently our spend is less than 2% of the GDP, healthcare spend.
Health spend. Huh?
And of course, I mean, we are hoping that it goes up to 2.5 by 2025. But in my sense, this needs to be done sooner, and not just mine. I just feel that there is a need to move that up. I mean, if you compare.
And I remember this debate has been going on for the last 1 year. Ashish, I'm sure you might also be hearing all this, that health spends need to go up. And I remember Jyotsna and I having this conversation about 4 months ago on enhancing the health budget in specific, not only in terms of GDP, but also skilling of new medical experts. And when it comes to skilling, Ashish, it's a $28 trillion hole, $28 trillion hole in the global economy, and because it's such a big hole, where do you see the economy specifically of India going? We had just come out. हम लोग बाहर आ ही रहे थे, ऑटो सेक्टर लाइन पे आ रहा था, कुछ एविएशन सेक्टर की डिमांड में थोड़ी बढ़ोतरी हो रही थी, लेकिन अब हम वापस उसी ट्रैक पे आ गए. अब यहाँ से हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं as far as economy of this country is concerned?
एक एस्टिमेट के हिसाब से अगर जो लॉकडाउन चल रहे हैं, अगर वो ये एस्टिमेट कुछ दिन पहले आया था, तो अगर 30 अप्रैल तक लॉकडाउन चलते हैं तो हम करीब 1.5 लाख करोड़ इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी इन वैल्यू में लूज करेंगे, जिसमें से आधे से ज्यादा स्टेट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र, विच इज ए हब ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, Various industries are located in Maharashtra, Bombay, Pune, different parts of Maharashtra. That they would be losing. Delhi करीब बहुत ही कंजर्वेटिव एस्टिमेट में हर दिन के लॉकडाउन पे करीब 1,15,000 करोड़ रुपए का नुकसान होता है। कुछ एडवांस एस्टिमेट्स आई थी आईएमएफ इकोनॉमी की पूरे साल को लेके, आई एम श्योर दे विल बी डाउनवर्ड रिविजन। अभी भी कुछ रिपोर्ट्स ऑलरेडी आ रही हैं कि जीडीपी की ग्रोथ पूरे अगले फाइनेंशियल ईयर 21-22 में जो डबल फिगर्स में कई रिपोर्ट्स थी 10 पॉइंट सम परसेंटेज 11 12, I think they all will get downgraded once April, May, June quarter is over, and whole world, every other sector, economic activities, business, everybody is taking a keep watching closely what is happening here. So आज हम क्या करते हैं, what we do today, what steps we do to plug the holes will basically determine how economic activity and recovery takes place.
ये बेहद संजीदा सिचुएशन है आशीष एंड जोस, आई एम श्योर बोथ ऑफ यू अंडरस्टैंड। और ग्राउंड लेवल पे भी मतलब जिस तरीके से चीफ मिनिस्टर्स ऑफ डिफरेंट स्टेट्स और प्रधानमंत्री आकर के लोगों को अश्योरेंस दे रहे हैं, वो अच्छी बात है, पॉजिटिविटी होनी चाहिए। पर ग्राउंड में अभी भी ब्लैक मार्केट ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर्स का, बेड्स का, रेमडेसिविर जो कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट मेडिसिन है, उसका ब्लैक मार्केट बहुत बड़ा हो गया है। एंड देयर आर रिपोर्ट्स फ्रॉम एवरीवेयर अक्रॉस द कंट्री दैट like an oxygen cylinder is being sold at 60,000 rupees, one oxygen cylinder. I mean, how can a middle class afford that kind of valuation for an oxygen cylinder? Where do you see this going? And अगर मैं आपको एक hypothetical situation में डालूं, क्योंकि आप दोनों अभी लोगों से बात कर रहे हैं, तो अगर आपको मैं एक दिन के लिए हेल्थ मिनिस्टर बना दूं, तो आप लोगों के पहले 3 स्टेप्स क्या होंगे?
I do believe that somewhere the government has to step in and put in a lockdown. Okay, whether it is for a week, because I understand we are all responsible, and we all take full responsibility. But when there is a lockdown put, there are a lot of other things that do fall into place in terms of curbing the virus, and I think we do need that. Whether it is a 2-week lockdown, that is number one. In my opinion, the other thing is that, like, the healthcare, we need to increase the spend. We need to understand and evaluate where we are in terms of trained medical specialists. We need to get the next rung ready out there so that we're able to, so block that and plug that hole when it comes to it. So in my sense, in my head, a lockdown is very necessary at this point, and I understand why it's not being done. It's because of denting the economic status.
सबसे पहले है जो भी व्यवस्था बनी हुई है उसको और स्ट्रॉन्ग करना पड़ेगा. वी हैव टू पुट टुगेदर थिंग्स. सो इट इज नाउ बियॉन्ड हेडलाइन मैनेजमेंट. ऑल हेल्थ मिनिस्टर्स, entire infrastructure, though it is working, believe me, lot of steps are being taken at the government level, at the state level, at the city level, but it needs to, we all need to be on one page. There has to be one message going out. What are those messages? Virus is very deadly. It spreads through human. If lockdown is required, let's say lockdown. I mean, our leaders can't come and say that lockdown is the last resort. When people will die, then you will put lockdown. So to break the virus chain, that's the first priority. How we do it, whether lockdown is effective, curfews are effective. अभी आप देखिए बेंगलुरु में अब जाके आज रात से 15 दिन के लिए लगेगा. पंजाब ने लगा दिया है. असम प्रिवेंटिव एक्शन ले रहा है. असम में अभी केसेस ज्यादा नहीं बढ़े हैं. 1000 के करीब उनके केसेस अभी रिकॉर्ड हुए हैं, जहां तक मेरी जानकारी है. नाइट कर्फ्यू कर रहा है. ये नाइट कर्फ्यू ना हाफ मेजर्स है. रात को वैसे भी कौन से लोग बाहर निकल रहे होते हैं. ये तो दिनों में बढ़ता है. जब आप गैदरिंग्स में जाते हो, make sure gatherings are closed. And the positive news is Election Commission has just announced no victory rally on May 2nd. Whoever wins whichever state, you can't hold processions. These are positive states. Home Ministry has put a lot of guidelines, containment zone, ट्रिगर. देखिए सारे देश में नहीं फैला हुआ. एक मिथ हो गया. ये 5, 6, 8 राज्य हैं जहां पे ये मैसिव स्प्रेड हुआ है. वो इसलिए हुआ है कि लोगों का जमावड़ा बढ़ता गया है. There have been large gatherings, people are going out, people basically kind of forgot that things are fine. Things are not fine, and that has to be the approach right now. Immediate steps.
For states like यूपी, जहां पे पिछले 6 महीनों में कुंभ का मेला हुआ है और प्रधान के चुनाव चल रहे हैं, एंड प्लस बंगाल में इलेक्शंस चल रहे हैं इन बंगाल. एंड आशीष, आपको याद होगा इंडिया इंग्लैंड मैच जो हुआ था बीच में, इट वाज वॉच्ड बाय 3 लाख पीपल फ्रॉम विद इन द स्टेडियम. तो वो आपकी बात सही है कि इट इज नॉट ओनली द गवर्नमेंट व्हिच नीड्स टू बी ब्लेम्ड, पीपल आल्सो स्टार्टेड टेकिंग थिंग्स फॉर ग्रांटेड. और ये जो हमारे हिंदुस्तान में चलता है ना, चलता है एटीट्यूड कि मतलब कोविड क्या हमारा कुछ बनाएगा, हम बड़े चीते हैं, हम बड़े शेर हैं। आई थिंक उस मेंटालिटी से एक आम आदमी को बाहर आना होगा।
नीति आयोग का जो कमीशन है वो अभी गेयर अप कर रहा है कि यूपी में हर दिन कहीं लाख से ऊपर केस ना आए, उसके लिए क्या करना है। उत्तर प्रदेश में बिकम द बिग हॉटस्पॉट, दैट्स व्हाट द रिपोर्ट्स आर कमिंग इन, एंड प्रिवेंटिव स्टेप्स आर बीइंग प्लान्ड। ऑक्सीजन के सपोर्ट, हॉस्पिटल का रिवैम्प करना, ये अब किया जा रहा है, जो अच्छी बिट ऑफ न्यूज है। तो पैनिक करने पे, throwing up hand in the air is not the solution. Things are being worked out. We have to trust, क्योंकि अगर कुछ त्रुटियां हुई हैं तो वो हमारे ही लोग ठीक करेंगे और हमारे लोगों से ही चीजें ठीक होंगी, इसमें कोई बाहर जाके नहीं करेगा।
बिल्कुल सही बात। एंड क्लोजिंग रिमार्क्स, let's go on an optimistic note. There are also more than 85% recovery cases. Like most of the people are being recovering, and that too in a very short span of time. There are few deaths. Of course, they are sad. No number of deaths can be considered as an optimistic statement, but the number of deaths are going down, and that is something which we need to look forward to. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much. We'll see you soon on the next episode of the special coverage we have from Business World on the COVID pandemic. Thank you.